Today's episode of Talkoffame is brought to you by C&G Tutoring. At C&G Tutoring, they're dedicated to unlocking your students' full potential with personalized one-on-one tutoring, both in-person and virtual. From kindergarten through 12th grade, their team of highly skilled tutors brings expertise in subjects ranging from math and reading to Spanish. Whether it's preparing for the SATs, gearing up for entrance exams, or building confidence for the classroom, C&G Tutoring is here to guide your student towards success. Visit www.cngtutoring.com, email cngtutoring@gmail.com, or call 570-362-6144 to ignite your mind. Welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Talkoffame podcast. I'm Kyliemontigney. Today we are chatting with Vanessa Nottingham. Vanessa is a Brazilian-American actress, director, and singer based in Los Angeles, California. She began her on-camera debut at age 7 in South Florida. As a child actor, she was featured in movies, commercials, and theatrical productions in Miami. In 2021, she moved to Los Angeles, where she has been named One to Watch. She is most notably known for the series Dhar, Mann and Public Policy, a miniseries. She can be seen in a leading role in a feature film, The Lemonade Files, in Seeking Justice. Additionally, Vanessa co-founded Divergent House, a film studio dedicated to promoting inclusive narratives amplifying from diverse backgrounds. Welcome to the show, Vanessa. I'm literally so excited to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, hey guys, I'm Vanessa Nottingham. Nice to meet
As
you.
many people know, you've been in many Darman stuff. So, with Darman, it's a very popular YouTube series. I know my cousins are obsessed with Darman. So, it's always bringing in my area in expertise with Darman for my little cousins. But what got you into acting at such a young age? Because you started literally at like 7 years old, right?
Yeah, it was my parents, honestly. I'm from South Florida, so at the time the film industry was booming, and I was a really shy kid. I come from a bilingual household. My mom's Brazilian, so she was teaching me Portuguese at the same time as learning English. So to make sure that I was, really learning the language, I was like at least English, really knowing English and also being outgoing, and not afraid to public speak. My parents decided, let's put her in some like acting classes or performance classes. So I started out in ballet, then switched over to uh, on camera film acting.
Like,
And
do
then
you
from
like
there,
growing up in a bilingual household? Like, did you mostly speak Portuguese or English?
mostly English, unless I'm with my mom, and then we purposefully try to continue to practice. So
Like,
then
I
I can speak.
cannot speak Portuguese if my life depended on it, honestly. Like, I took some Spanish classes in like early high school, junior year of high school. Literally do not recall any of it. Not and like I'm a good student, don't get me wrong, but Portuguese or any type of language outside of English is not like I really do not care unless I really had to learn from it because with Pennsylvania, it's like a state where it's like all like English and Spanish people depending on where you go. So,
Mhm.
if learning Spanish is also kind of a way to go depending on if you're maybe a Wilkes-Barre, there's a bunch of, Spanish speaking people there or Scranton. Like it depends on what type of area you were in Pennsylvania. But when I took Spanish, I was like, I do not care if I keep this language after this year. I was like, I go to class.
It's hard.
If I get good grades in it, then that's the end of it for me.
Learning another language is hard, especially if you're learning it at an older age. For me, it was easy because I learned it at the same time as English.
Yeah, like especially growing up in that kind of household where you spoke both languages at such a young age. Like I wish I kind of had that when I was young. I wish I was like, why don't I learn both English and Spanish? But all my family speaks English. So it's like it's kind of pointless to learn a different language if all my family speaks English. Besides, my cousin marry someone from Colombia that spoke Spanish. So that's kind of like the only reason that I was kind of interested in speaking Spanish. But I was like, I literally have no interest in learning a different language unless I have to.
Yeah.
Like, what? How has like your move been like going from Miami to Los Angeles? Like, like going from big Miami, Florida to West Coast. Like, I'm sure it was a huge change.
Um, well, one, the move was awesome. My dad and I had a little father-daughter bonding moment, so we uh packed my car up and literally like there was no space. My dad was in the passenger seat with like his feet up. um, Packed my car up and we went on a road trip for 10 days across the country, which was beautiful. It was so fun and special.
Mm,
And when I finally moved to LA, funny enough, LA and Miami or South Florida, so similar in terms
mm.
of like you got the palm trees, you got the beach. Now just add some mountains and take out the humidity. And
Yeah.
there, same place.
Yeah,
In my
like, if
mind, at
there's
least.
no mountains or anything like that, then you're basically in Florida, but, different culture.
Yeah.
But with LA, like, of course, with Miami's kind of like a big time kind of entertainment place, but LA is kind of like a bigger place for entertainment. So it's a big kind of change in terms of different like areas. But like literally Florida and LA are literally the exact same place, but different states per se.
It feels like it sometimes. I'm like, oh, am I in like Sunrise right now? Sunrise is a place in South Florida. I'm like, this looks
Mm,
like Sunrise, Florida. Like, especially when you get into the valley and it's a little flat out here. I'm
mm.
like, we're in Florida. You
Yeah,
can't convince me
we're in
otherwise.
Florida. I'm mentally still in Florida. Like, we'll just pretend it's Florida for a minute. Like, it's
Yeah.
literally so similar to Los Angeles, but like, there's literally no mountains in Florida at all.
No.
Like, that's the worst part about Florida is that, like, you can literally have tornadoes or anything at any moment because like, when there's no mountains, it's more easily to get tornadoes. So I'm just like, to live there year round, I'm just like, I don't know if I could last with all of that and
Oh,
humidity.
I don't think I've ever experienced a tornado, fortunately.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, like I know I'm from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. I never experienced one before, but the closest one that I've gotten is probably like 15, 20 minutes away from my house. But nothing like too serious. Like where I am, it's kind of like in a cusp where like my house is kind of like up on a hill. So it's like there's no kind of reach and per se. But I would say probably Florida, Los Angeles is probably like much more easier to get a tornado or
Yeah.
something than
Mhm.
maybe somewhere like, I don't know, like Arizona or something. I don't know. But what was kind of like the audition process to start in Dhar Mann? I know a lot of people know you from starring in different Dhar Mann videos, but what was kind of like the audition process like for you?
Oh, it was easy. I honestly didn't even know what I was auditioning for. I was on Actors Access, which has like casting breakdowns, and I was just clicking away like, oh, this matches my profile. This one matches for me. Like this, they're looking for this type of character. Cool, I could do this. So, I actually auditioned for them twice. So once, the first time I auditioned, it was for a Christmas Caroler. They needed Christmas Caroler for an episode, and I dressed up as one. I started singing. Bam, heard back, booked the part. So I
Mhm.
recorded it, sent it in, found out maybe a few days later, a week later, booked the part, and then came in and was introduced to Darman, like the studio and the process, which was awesome. And then kept getting called back in for different productions, but I was always like day players or the friend or the blah blah blah, best friend or the girl who's into the TikTok boy or things like that. And then I happened to see another breakdown, didn't know it was for Darman, and they needed like another singer again, but they needed like a mean girl esque type role. And I auditioned for that, sent it in, found out it was for Darman, and then found out I got the part for that. So then after that, I think that was when my Mean Girl era began for Darman, which is now kind of, I don't want to say phasing out because I'm sure I'll get another one, but I've been getting a lot more different roles now.
Then
Um,
compared to like mean roles, like when you're
yeah,
dark.
now it's like struggling girl, girl struggling next door, girl struggling. She's going
Oh
through
yeah. Yeah,
life.
like did you know what Doorman was when you auditioned, or did it not say it was for Doorman at all? Was it just kind of like that person, the description or
They
whatever
just
it
have
was?
a casting director. All they have is like the casting director name, and that's it.
Oh gee. Like if I knew if it was Doorman, I'm like I might as well just apply because Doorman is like becoming very popular among like teenagers, kids. That's like no matter if you start in Doorman, like it's literally huge. But like I'm
Um,
surprised they don't even like show that's for Darman or what it's for or the studio.
yeah, well, that's the thing. It might be for secrecy and things like that.
Most likely. I wouldn't be surprised if that's probably what it was, probably because they're like, oh, maybe people say like, oh, I'm auditioning for Darman, I didn't get it. Like it can be very different reasons. But like what was kind of like your experience in Darman? Like kind of like what was kind of like the behind the scenes like for you?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm still there. I still work with them a lot. And I just I wouldn't be working with them if it wasn't great. The crew is fantastic. My cast members, it's like one big happy family a lot of the time, and we just have fun. We just have fun making some art.
Yeah, definitely. So, how are your Darman projects that you work on different from what you have done before compared to like your different projects outside of Darman?
Yeah. So I'm in the indie realm. I've done a lot of independent movies. So it's cool to, I haven't done a lot like of YouTube. Well, now I have, but in the past, I
Mhm.
hadn't done a whole lot stuff for YouTube or things that have had an immediate release. So a lot of the projects in the past that I've done, although they might have lasted longer, like because they're films, we might have lasted for a few weeks, or I had a project that or months, weeks, months, where I'm filming. Whereas Darman, like it's an episode, so you're filming in basically 1 week. Um, but in the indie realm, a lot of the time, those films are
Mhm.
just going to festivals, so you never see
Yeah.
the light. So they never see the public eye besides like those who are attending film festivals, things like that. So it's really cool to be on Darman and for people to actually watch it and watch it within like a month or two of after we finish filming it. It's
Mhm.
incredible.
Mhm.
So,
And plus, it's
um,
literally like access to the public rather than just people that attend film festivals and LA or something.
yeah, and it's beautiful. And I mean, like, to be able to get like recognized for it too. Like, I'm just walking in the street and I'm like, oh my God, you know who I am.
I
Like,
know,
people,
like you know who I am. This is just a little sidekick job. I didn't think anyone would recognize me.
yeah,
Like that's
I
the
mean,
best part about it is that, like when you're starting something, you're like people recognize you. I'm like, well, at least someone knows who I am at this point. That's awesome. I don't care what else I do in life anymore. Like, because at least you're getting at least recognized for that. Like with Dharma, with this being so popular, like everyone, I feel like everyone knows everyone in a Dharma side.
yeah, kinda.
Like you are coming out with a new project called The Curtain. Like what can you say about that and your role?
Ooh, The Curtain. Um, yes, The Curtain is a horror film. Um, that is coming out, horror thriller. Have you seen Suspiria?
Mm-hmm. I seen
Yeah.
it.
So it's very much in the vein of Suspiria, the original version. Um, very artsy, very trippy.
Mm.
Uh, Basically, I play a character called Shelley, which is like playing homage to Shelley Ball from The Shining. And so my character Shelley is a country singer that moves to LA. to follow the dream of being an artist, and she happens to get trapped in this apartment building. It's basically the apartment building has its own mind. It's like its own mind, and she gets trapped along with anyone else who moves to LA and lives in this apartment. And it's basic symbolism of being in the cycle of um, being too afraid to pursue the dream. So even though there's a lot of people that move to Los Angeles because they're like, oh, if I move here, done, great, I did it. Like, now what's gonna happen to me? But
Mm,
that's not the case. It's like you move to LA, cool, that's just step one.
mm,
You know, that's step one. So now what's next is you have to work towards something. You have to keep working and working, working. It's not just going to happen.
mm.
And so that's like showing the symbolism of a lot of people coming out here and not doing anything. So then they're trapped. Um, and my character's trying to escape and get out of this cycle, but I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, she's trying to escape and get out of this cycle. So
Oh
that's
gosh, I love it. Now I'm literally so excited to see this.
yeah,
Wait,
I'm
do you
excited
guys have
about
a
it.
release date for this yet or no?
Well, ours is going to the festivals first, festival cycle, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Awesome. I literally can't wait to see this now.
Mhm.
Like, I know with a lot of people, when they're moving to LA for maybe acting or something, they're like, well, I'm gonna get gigs right off the bat. It's gonna be the best thing ever. This is step one, and then things are gonna get better. But with acting in LA, it's literally so competitive that I'm just like, I could not personally handle it. Moving to Los Angeles and getting being an actor, like there is literally more rejections than anything that you probably will get in your career.
Yeah, yeah. Well, someone once told me it's a roller coaster. And I
Mm,
could say you could say life is a roller coaster, but especially in the film industry, it is a roller coaster. You're gonna have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and it's gonna happen immediately. Like I'm currently on a production right now, um, which is I'm basically on a film right now, a feature, um, and I am like, whoa, like I am the lead of the film. Like it's like I'm treated like royalty. Like it is the best feeling of being like pampered on set and whatever. And it's the highest of highs, and I'm having so much fun playing this character. But I know when we finish next week, because we're continuing this week to film, when we finish next week, oh my god, I'm gonna be like, now what?
like,
now
now
I
what do I do with my life? No,
what
what's
do I do? It's gonna like, oh my gosh, I'm not looking forward to that. But that's what comes with the price of being an actor, you know? And
Mhm,
then just knowing, like, go to therapy, go to this, like, know how to deal with your emotions and how to
mhm,
move forward from it. And that's also why I founded Divergent House
mhm.
and um, also direct and produce my own movies because anytime I'm not booked on a project as an actor, I'm like, cool, well, then I have my own projects that I'm working on. It doesn't I don't want it to stop. And because I don't want it to stop, I'm taking initiative and taking control of my life
Mm,
by making sure that I have other projects in the back burner.
and to get extra pay, never stop working. Like with that, like I'm the type of person as well that doesn't want things to end, but also very excited for different things to come after that. Even though I'm not a very like
Yeah.
emotional person, so whenever I say goodbye to something, I'm just like, this is gonna be the hardest thing ever. But when like the next project comes, I'm like, well, at least I'm working and earning. Hey, like that's a part about acting or producing or whatever is that you go from one project to a different one every couple of months or weeks.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I was just thinking about this last night. I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll like get home from work and I'm like sitting in my car. And I just sit there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It could be silence or in blasting music, either one, but I'm just like
What
sitting
do I
there.
do with myself now? Like I was
Yeah.
just doing that yesterday, actually doing the same exact thing. Because
Yeah.
yesterday was my last day at my one job, and I was just sitting in the car and thinking to myself like, what am I doing with my life now? Like, what am I doing with my time? Like, I was just sitting there for maybe like good like 10, 15 minutes, and I was like, well, what am I doing with my life now that this is over? Like, is
Yeah.
my life gonna be entertaining anymore? Like, what's going on in my life? I feel like once everyone's done with a certain project or a job, everyone's literally in their feels every single time. Like, what am I doing with myself after this is done? Like, there's like no one knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. You don't know.
And that's the worst part about it is because you get to say goodbye to these people that you worked with for maybe months. And you're just like, well, see you later. I guess I'll see you when I see you.
It's heartbreaking every single time. I'm heartbroken after every Darman shoot. And that's only a week. And I'm like, oh, this is ending. And
Yeah,
now
it's only
when I'm
like 7 days. And it's like, well, it's people feel like family. It's already over within a week. Like
uh,
this with Dharma, it's just like a single kind of a single type of shoot. Like it's a different episode. So it's not like it's like maybe like an actual kind of like a movie.
correct.
So to wrap this episode up, I know we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but what are some kind of your upcoming projects in the works?
Yeah. Um I'm like trying to think, what can I talk about? Well, we have the curtain. The curtain is now in post production. So that was a project I just wrapped. I'm currently on a feature right now. It's very mob boss, mob, not mob episode, but it's like a mob boss film. Basically, I play this girl who gets kidnapped by someone who's in the mafia, essentially. Very dramatic, very dark, but like a little bit of romance. So I'm excited for people to see that side of me because I feel like they don't often see that. Um, and then also I have the Lemonade Files. Lemonade Files is currently in the film circuit, film festival circuit. I also have a project that I am producing called Camp Mary Oaks. So that is underway as well. That's a big feature film that we're planning on doing in the next few months. And then I have a Christmas movie as well that I am acting and producing.
Awesome. I can't wait for those projects
Yeah.
now. Oh my
And
God.
then whatever else comes next.
Yeah, who knows by the end of the year there might be more.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you so much for coming on and joining us today. I literally love everything you're doing and all the projects that you are currently working on. I'm literally so excited to watch all of these things that you're doing. To everyone for listening. I really hope everyone enjoyed this episode. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for coming on and joining us. It was so great chatting with you and also meeting you as well.
Yeah, so nice meeting you and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review. Talk to you guys next episode. And thanks for tuning in to this episode of Talk of Fame. Remember, today's episode was sponsored by C&G Tutoring, where expert one-on-one tutors help students excel from K to 12, college level, and an SAT prep. With a 5-star parent review, C&G Tutoring is ready to take learning to the next level. Be sure to visit www.cngtutoring.com, email cngtutoring@gmail.com, or call 570-362-6144 to help your student reach their academic goals. Until next time, keep striving, keep believing, and keep chasing your dreams.